I spent weeks planning the perfect birthday for my little daughter. Every decoration was carefully chosen. Every detail mattered because after everything I had gone through as a single mother, she was my whole world. But nothing could prepare me for what I saw the moment I entered that party hall. Her birthday cake smashed inside the trash bin like garbage. My daughter standing in the corner trying not to cry. And then I heard my own sister laughing as she looked at me and said words I will never forget. She was not worth wasting cake on. At that exact moment, I picked up my daughter and walked out without saying another word. I thought that was the end of it. I had no idea. By the next morning, my mother would call me screaming and begging because something had happened that was about to destroy my sister's entire future forever. And when I heard what happened, I simply said, I do not care, and hung up. What happened next left my whole family shattered forever. Stay till the end because this story proves karma always arrives faster than people expect. My name's Olivia, and I'm 36 years old. 3 years ago, my marriage ended after my husband walked away and decided he no longer wanted responsibility. Since then, my daughter Emma became the center of my world. She had just turned 7, and after everything she had been through, I wanted to make this birthday unforgettable. Money had been tight. I worked overtime for weeks. I skipped buying new clothes for myself. I canceled dinner plans with friends. Every extra dollar went toward that birthday party. Emma had one request only. She wanted a princess-themed celebration with a beautiful strawberry cake. I rented a local event hall because I wanted her to feel special. My family offered to help. My mother volunteered to arrive early and decorate. My younger sister Rachel insisted she would manage the cake delivery. Rachel and I had never been close. Growing up, she was always the favorite child. She was beautiful, confident, and spoiled. Mom gave her everything she wanted, while I learned very early that I had to fight for everything myself. Still, I thought maybe things had changed. I believed families should stand together, especially for a child. The party started at 4 in the afternoon. Emma wore a pink princess dress and smiled the entire drive there. She held my hand tightly and kept saying this was the best day ever. But the moment we walked inside, something felt wrong. The room was strangely quiet. I noticed several children standing awkwardly with their parents. Decorations were half torn from the walls. Balloons had been popped. Juice cups were spilled across the floor. And then I saw Emma's birthday cake. The large custom strawberry princess cake I paid almost $300 for was upside down inside the trash can. Frosting covered the black plastic bag. For a moment, I froze completely. Emma looked at the trash and whispered softly, "Mommy, why is my cake in there?" Before I could answer, I heard loud laughter behind me. I turned around and saw Rachel sitting casually at a nearby chair drinking champagne. She looked directly at me and laughed harder. I asked what happened. She shrugged. I threw it away. I could barely process her words. "Why would you do that?" Then she said the sentence that changed everything forever. "Honestly, your kid was not worth wasting cake on." The entire room went silent. I looked at Emma and saw tears forming in her eyes. That was enough. I walked straight toward my daughter, lifted her into my arms, and turned toward the exit. My mother suddenly rushed over, yelling, "Where are you going?" I stared directly at both of them. "You just humiliated my daughter on the most important day of her year." Rachel rolled her eyes and laughed again. Mom immediately defended her favorite daughter. "Stop overreacting. It is just a cake." That sentence cut deeper than anything Rachel had said. I left without another word. Emma cried the entire drive home, asking what she had done wrong. Hearing that broke something inside me. That night, I promised myself I would never let these people hurt my child again. I blocked every family member. Around 8 the next morning, my phone started ringing repeatedly. It was my mother. Against my better judgment, I answered. She was hysterical. "Please call the venue immediately. They are canceling your sister's wedding." I sat silently for a moment. "What?" Mom started crying uncontrollably. Apparently, after I left, the venue manager reviewed security footage. Rachel had intentionally destroyed private decorations, damaged property, and thrown the cake violently into venue equipment. Several expensive decorations belonging to the company were ruined. The manager had immediately terminated their wedding booking scheduled for next weekend. Not only that, but they were threatening legal action for damages. Rachel had already paid nearly $20,000 toward deposits that were now frozen, pending investigation. Mom begged me, "Please call them and explain this misunderstanding." I could not believe what I was hearing. "You want me to defend the woman who humiliated my daughter yesterday?" Mom continued crying. "If this wedding gets canceled, Rachel will lose everything." I sat quietly for several seconds. Then I said words I had waited years to say. "I honestly do not care," and I hung up. For the next several hours, my phone exploded. My aunt called screaming that the family should forgive the family. My cousin texted, accusing me of being selfish. Rachel herself sent voice messages threatening me. But something strange happened. For the first time in my life, I felt completely calm. 3 days later, things became worse for Rachel. Her fiancé learned what happened. When he discovered she publicly humiliated a 7-year-old child and caused thousands in damages, he started questioning everything about their relationship. Apparently, this was not the first cruel thing she had done. He quietly canceled the engagement. Within 1 week, Rachel had lost her wedding venue, her fiancé, and thousands of dollars. Mom blamed me for everything. She said I destroyed the family. I reminded her she had a chance to stop Rachel that day, but instead chose to protect cruelty. Months passed. I heard through relatives that Rachel moved back home and struggled financially after losing the wedding deposits. Then something happened I never expected. One evening there was a knock at my door. It was my mother. She looked exhausted, older, somehow. She quietly asked if she could come inside. After sitting down, she began crying. For the first time in my life, she apologized. She admitted she spent years favoring Rachel and ignoring how badly she treated others. She said watching Rachel destroy her own future finally forced her to see reality. I listened quietly. Then she looked at Emma playing in the living room. She whispered, "I should have protected her." I nodded. "Yes, you should have." My mother asked if I could forgive her. I told her forgiveness takes time, but trust, once broken, does not return easily. That day changed everything. Today, Emma is happier than ever. She recently had another birthday party surrounded only by people who genuinely love her. No fake family, no cruelty, no selfishness. And as for Rachel, she learned a lesson many people learn too late. The moment you treat innocent people badly, life begins preparing consequences you never see coming. Because karma does not forget. And sometimes the people you hurt the most become the reason your world falls apart. My sister thought humiliating my little daughter would make her feel powerful. Instead, one cruel decision destroyed her wedding, her relationship, and her reputation forever. Some people believe family can do anything without consequences. But the truth is simple. The moment you hurt innocent people, especially children, life always keeps score. Karma waits patiently, and when it strikes, there is no escape.